Building characters takes a lot of resin. Groundbreaking, I know. But certain characters are cheaper to build than others. For example, Hu Tao, Ayaka, and Yanfei as main DPS units like to be triple crowned, or at least care about all of their talents. But we're not here to talk about them. We're here to talk about how fast we can build a team from scratch that can 36-star the Spiral Abyss. Many of you may have heard of this, but it's... Well, first of all, since it's a Hyper Bloom team, we're going to need Kuki at level 90. And yes, you can try it with a level 80, but those Hyper Blooms will do up to 10,000 less damage each. Now, this would take about 720 resin of boss runs to get the 46 Rune Serpent things. Next up is Artifacts. We'll be leaving the other characters at level 1 because they don't really matter. Because of this, we'll need to level 2 artifacts on each support. The Timepiece for energy recharge and the Flower for flat HP. The rest can be level 1 artifacts with an energy recharge substat on any main stat. One of the characters is going to need 4-piece Deepwood, but don't worry, that part is easy. Shinobu needs 5 fully leveled artifacts. Gearing up your Shinobu with 5 artifacts, however, will be cheaper than most other characters. As long as she has triple EM main stat, at least 1 substat on her Flower and Feather, and a 2-piece set of Gilded, you'll have 838 Elemental Mastery minimum. But if you manage 4-piece Gilded, which shouldn't be that hard, your minimum shoots up to 988 Elemental Mastery. You might think it's hard to get artifacts like that, and that we should add that resin to the amount to account for bad artifact luck. But just to level up artifacts will take about 150 domain runs to get that much EXP. I think it is safe to say that we will get at least 1 EM main stat for our Sands, our Goblet, and our Circlet. This will cost us about 3,000 resin. Next up, we'll be giving all our characters weapons. Assuming you have at least 1 sword built and a few Favonius weapons laying around, this shouldn't be a problem. Kuki will want you to craft her the Iron Sting. The rest of the team will be Xingqiu, Traveler, and Kalei, so we'll need 2 Favonius swords and a bow. Any of these can be replaced by their sacrificial variants, but either way, leveling 4 weapons to 90 will cost about 10,040 resin for the materials and ensure a minimum of 200 energy recharge on all of our supports. Since we're doing a minimum resin team building, I'm going to assume no one is crazy enough to use resin for weapon crystals. If we are truly starting from scratch, however, then you will have 0 Mora and 0 XP books. This is most likely not the case, but we'll put it there anyway. We'll need about 7.5 million Mora, but we'll get about 600,000 from the bosses and the domains, meaning we'll only need to spend around 2,300 resin on Mora, and for XP books we'll need about 1,380 resin. So in total, we'll need about 4,760 resin to build this team minimum, and if you're the brokest person in Tevat, you'll need about 3,680 extra resin. It should be noted that Mora, XP books, and Artifact XP can all be passively gained from overworld exploration. So, assuming you have touched the overworld map, you will not have to spend 8,000 resin, but more like 6,000 at most. Now, as proof of concept, I have taken this team and actually cleared Abyss with it. That is the footage you're seeing in the background. But since it is just one team, I used Melt Ganyu on the other half. You might say that this is cheating because Melt Ganyu is meta, but honestly I see it as an advantage in the fact that it doesn't use Bennett, or Xiangling, or Zhongli, or any of the limited 5 stars for that matter. And there you have it, building a team that can clear Spiral Abyss in less than 5,000 resin. Now, you might think that 5,000 resin is a lot to just build one team, but if you think about it, it's not. If you were building any other team, 90% of your damage increases would be from getting better artifacts, better substats on better main stats, and then more in line with the set bonus. All that stuff is reliant on RNG. The beauty of this team is that you can build it linearly. It doesn't matter when you put in the resin, it will always have an increase in your damage. Sometimes you go 160 resin one day in the Blizzard domain and all you get is defense circlets and defense goblets and defense sands. That is useless. You just wasted resin trying to get an upgrade for your Ayaka, but instead you got XP for artifacts that you don't want to level because they're all defense. With this team, however, all of the resin that you're spending will be going into concrete upgrades, like increasing your Shinobu's level will definitely increase her Hyper Bloom damage. Increasing your Shinobu's Elemental Mastery will definitely increase her Hyper Bloom damage, and since you're upgrading triple main stats and you don't care about the substats, it doesn't matter what they roll. There is no luck involved, you will always be getting an upgrade. Same thing with their weapons. The Energy Recharge substat is guaranteed to go up on every Favonius weapon, and the Elemental Mastery is always going to go up on the Iron Sting. And the other 10% of your damage increase would come from talent levels. But, you know, did you notice that I didn't mention talent levels in my math? That's because this team does just as well with 1-1-1 talents as it does with Triple Crown talents. You could spend 0 resin on the talents, or you could spend 12 crowns on the talents, and none of it would make a difference because this team is made of transformative reactions.